Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prep for the week. So that includes cutting all my vegetables and preparing some other things. So today I'm just soaking some chickpeas for a curry tomorrow. So those are ready to go. I'll also be making some hummus, some chili, and curry paste. So as always, I'll start off by cutting all my vegetables and going over my menu. And then I will work on the rest. So, just gonna start with an onion. That's gonna go in my chili. And then my menu. So, as always, for Sunday, for lunch, I'm gonna have some sandwiches. I'm gonna have some rolls with some ham, probably some cheese, cucumber, lettuce, that sort of stuff. So, because I am diabetic, I had to cut carbs, so most of my lunches are low-carb, keto-friendly, but on the weekend I have my cheat days because I really do like sandwiches. And a cheat day every now and again just makes it easier to stick to your diet the rest of the week. So, that's one onion done. And this other yellow onion, I'm just going to give a rough chop. And that is going to go in my curry paste. And I'll just give that a rough chop so it doesn't get stuck on top of the blades and just spins around. So, real rough chop. That is plenty. And that can go directly in my blender cup. And I'll just be gathering things in here while I prep. And I'll just run that in a bit. And in the meantime, we're gonna move on to some red onions. I'm gonna dice one for things like, I'm gonna make a tuna salad on Friday, for example. And I need some diced red onion for that, and I'll put it in some other things as well. And the other one I'm just gonna slice for some things. So, we're on the menu, so we were on dinner for Sunday. So tonight I'm gonna make some chili, and I'm gonna use that in a few different meals. And tonight, since I had some burger buns, whole wheat burger buns left over from the other day, I need to use those up. I'm just gonna have my chili with a sandwich because why not? You know, kind of like sloppy joes, but with chili instead. So there are no rules in cooking, just if something seems alright to you, just do it. And then we're on Monday, Meatless Monday. For lunch, I'm going to do some hummus with some crudités, and I'm going to make my own hummus for that. It's real simple. It takes just minutes. So, that's that. And then while I slice up this other onion, let's go over the dinner for Monday. So I'm going to make a vegan curry with the lentils and chickpeas. That's why I was soaking the chickpeas. So they are ready to go for tomorrow, and I'll just use some different kinds of lentils. I like using a combination of green and red. The red will kind of melt away and just thicken the curry, and the green will stay whole and just give it a little bit of texture, and that together with the chickpeas. That's really nice. So, and then we're on Tuesday. For lunch, I'm going to do some lettuce wraps, again with that chili. Kind of like little tacos, but with lettuce wraps. Let me just make some room in here. And then for dinner, I do Taco Tuesdays. So I'm going to have some hard shell tacos with, I'm going to take some sausage, and I'll just take that out of its casing and use that for my filling with some peppers, some onions. That's another reason I need some the diced onions. I'll have some lettuce with that. And if you saw my video last week, you know I made that roasted salsa. I still have some of that left, so I'll use that to saute the sausage, and then I'll stir in that salsa to give it some flavor. So I'm just cutting up one spring onion, mostly for garnish for a few things this week, like my tacos. There's that. And then I'll work on a few cloves of garlic. So I'll take a few whole ones and throw those in my blender for the curry paste. Then I'll have two whole for my chili. And these other ones I'll just dice up for a few other things. So that was a Tuesday. For Wednesday for lunch, I'm gonna have some sausage with some broccoli. And then for dinner, I'm gonna use the rest of the chili in like a rice bowl. So I'm gonna do some lime cilantro rice. I'll do that chili. Maybe I'll add some corn as well. I still have a can of corn in the pantry. So then we're on Thursday for lunch, more lettuce wraps, this time with chicken and some veggies like peppers, onions, that sort of thing, chilies, garlic. And then for dinner, I'm gonna have some fried rice with chicken. So again, plenty of vegetables. And I'll marinate that chicken in some soy sauce, like some coriander, ginger, garlic. And I'll have some chicken, some rice, some egg. Like I'll do a fried egg. All that good stuff. So, and for my fried rice, I want some leek. So I'll just slice up some of this. There we go. And this I'll save for another day. That was Thursday. Then Friday for lunch, I'm gonna do some tuna salad and some lettuce wraps. Again, I'm doing lettuce wraps several times this week, and Friday's Fish Friday. So for dinner, I'm gonna do a noodle bowl with some salmon. What shall we do next? Let's do some cucumber. So these are mostly for my crudités. I want some sticks. This seems about the right size to me. I'll just cut around the core in some stick shape. And the core I'll save for a snack in a moment. And then the rest of this cucumber I'll just cut into slices for my sandwich. And I'll do the same with this one. Okay, that's cucumber. And then sticking with the hummus theme, I have some carrots. And again, just cut off the very tip. This is about the right size for my sticks. So do that, and I'll do this one as well. And the third one. So that is for my hummus. And then these I'll cut in half, and I'll just cut them nice and fine, and those will go in my fried rice and in my lettuce wraps with my chicken. So I'll do that with the other two as well. And next up, we have some celery. I'll just do one rib. It's going to go in my tuna salad. So that's just tuna, onion, mayo, celery. Maybe I'll add some curry powder. I quite like that. But I like a little bit of crunch, so I'm just cutting it nice and fine. celery. Next up, let's work on some peppers. I have different colors. I'm gonna use some in my crudité, so I'll cut those into sticks, and the rest I'll just cut smaller for my my chili, my wraps, my tacos. So again, this is about the size for my sticks. Cut those like that. Same for the other half. A nice size for dipping, not too thin and not too thick. And then the other part, I'll just cut lengthwise and then dice up. I can go in a container over here. And then I'll do the same for the other colors as well, just so I have a little bit of a rainbow. Alright, the pepper's done. Then next up I have a bunch of chilies. And some of these are going to go in my curry paste, some of them are going to go in my fried rice, some of these are going to go in my tacos. I'm going to use them for a bunch of things. So first off, I have these jalapenos. I'm just going to take the seed out. Okay, I have 3 jalapenos, so 2 of them I'm just going to throw in with my garlic and my onion for my curry paste. The other 2, 2 halves, so 1 jalapeno I'll just slice up. And then I have some cayenne, so I'll use some for my curry paste. So I'm just gonna give them a rough chop again so they don't get stuck on the top of the blades. And those can go in. You can use any color, by the way, for a curry paste. The color of the curry kind of depends on what kind of chilies you use. You know what? I'll just do one red one as well. Then I have 3 more chilies, an orange, a red, and a green. Mostly for color, not really for a taste. They don't taste that different. But I'll just slice those up. And those again will go in my tacos, in my fried rice, in my lettuce wraps, etc. And then next up I have some tomatoes for my curry. And these are going to stew down, but I'm just going to give them a quick chop just to help with that. So I'll just roughly chop them. Next up, I have some green beans for my noodle bowl with salmon on Friday. So I'll just top and tail those. Okay. Then I have some broccoli for one meal. So I'll just cut off the florets and I'll cut them into bite-sized pieces. That should be enough for about 1 portion, and just save the stems for things like stir fries and things like that because it is delicious. Then next up, I have some cilantro. And I'm going to cut off the stems. Those are going to go in my curry paste. And then here I have some more stems from last week, so I'll put those in as well. And then the rest of this bunch I'll just give a nice chop for my lime cilantro rice. And yes, I've been really into lime cilantro rice lately. So I'll just keep running my knife through until everything is nice and fine. And then I'm going to finish off the things for curry paste. Here I have some lemongrass. Take the tip off. Again, give it a rough chop so it goes down easier. And that can go in my blender. And then here I have some turmeric and some ginger, and I'm just going to give those a quick peel. And when you're working with fresh turmeric, you probably want to wear gloves or your hands will be stained like orange, yellow for the rest of the day. And just to prove my point, this is my glove now. This is what your fingers would look like if you weren't wearing gloves. They'll be like that for at least a day. So again, rough chop on the garlic, on the ginger to put that in. Put the turmeric in. And that's all the chopping done for today. We're 29 minutes. So this, I'll just put the lid on. I'll give that a spin on my blender, and then I'll start putting some things away, and then we'll be back to make the hummus and the chili. Right, I just transfer this to some glass jars because you want to store it in glass because, like I said, turmeric stains, and if you store it in plastic, that plastic will be stained for a long time. So that's done. In the meantime, I also preheated my Ninja Foodi. So on saute, I'll add a little bit of oil. And then I'll start off by adding some stewing beef just to get some color on it. It doesn't need to be cooked through, I just want a little bit of color. And to this, I'll just add a pinch of salt. Now that the beef has some color, I'm gonna add my veggies. So I have 2 whole garlic cloves. I'm not gonna bother chopping those because it's gonna melt away. So I'm gonna add my yellow onion, a bunch of chilies, all the different colors, and I'll add some different color peppers as well, just because I have the different colors. Doesn't really matter what color you use. And I'll just let that soften as well. And while that is sauteing, let's work on the hummus. So here I have a small can of chickpeas. That's more than enough for a portion. I'll add a little bit of tahini, which is sesame paste. That's gonna make it nice and creamy. I'll add some lime juice. You can use lemon. I just prefer lime, so that's what I usually have in stock. So for this small amount, I'll do half of one. Add a small pinch of salt. And this is a base hummus, so you can add a lot of different flavors to this. I've done chipotle, I've done, what else have I done? Smoked paprika, a bunch of things, and this time I'm going to add some harissa spices. Make it a little bit spicy. And I'm just going to blitz this up. And that's all there is to it. That's hummus made. You can experiment with different flavors, but this is ready to go for tomorrow. Also, you saw me make a big batch of curry paste. This was way more than I need for one portion, but I always make a big batch because it keeps in the fridge for like a week or two. So I always plan on making several curries within the next few weeks. So probably next week I'll have something with chicken or something. We'll just see. In the meantime, the vegetables have softened, so I'm going to add some tomato puree. This is actually half tomato, half paprika puree. Doesn't really matter, but I prefer this. I'll also add a little bit of smoked paprika and some chipotle just to get a little bit of a smoky flavor going. And I'll just saute this for a minute or so. And since I have half lime left, I'll add some lime juice as well just for a little kick. And then I will change my Ninja Foodi from saute to pressure cook. I'll add a little bit of water. Put on my pressure lid, make sure the valve is closed, and these are small pieces of beef, so I'll do 20 minutes in the pressure cooker, and then that will be nice and tender. So I'm going to clean up a bit, and I'll see you when that's ready. And that's the chili done, so when I went to have that for several meals this week, I just had a need to heat that through. But that's done, and that's all the prep for this week, so now I can have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. Now, if you like this kind of content, I do this every single Sunday, and if you would like to see what I prepare with all these ingredients, you can check out my Instagram where I post every single meal, or you can check out the video that I post about once a month on here, where I show you a whole week of everything I eat in a day. So leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.